Hi everyone, and welcome to another Ginkgo tutorial. My name is Zero and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. So, hi everyone, and actually we did a tutorial on how to make houses already, but due to some pretty much I messed it up. I accidentally sent the house back, and then when I tried to rebuild it back to where I was at the tutorial to continue it, I learned that I actually made some mistakes along the way, and some of the methods that I was using was totally wrong. And my friend came and showed me some more techniques, and instead of going back and saying, hey, remember when we did this with that? Don't do that anymore, do this. I figured it'd be a lot easier to just remake the whole tutorial and start over from scratch and show you everything and continuing on with the part that I was supposed to add in. So this was actually the finished result of what we're pretty much going to be aiming for in this tutorial. Show you how to build a simple skybox. Well, it's out of prims, and then we're going to convert those prims into mesh and jazz it up maybe in Blender if we feel like it, and then bring it back into Second Life for some more work and decoration. This is actually going to be the first part of a multi-part tutorial, how to build a house and then how we're going to build furniture for a said house, like chairs and things and couches, and maybe do some curtain work, because actually I am certified to make curtains. I took a college class on home decor. And then out of the 4 classes, I only went to 2 because I got sick. So I technically am qualified to teach you how to make curtains. And that's what we're going to work on, hopefully in a home building course. So that's what this is going to be like, part 1. I guess we'd say before we dive into the tutorial that this is going to be extremely long. I'm sorry, there was pretty much no way around it to get them out of detail, I guess, and keep it short. I tried. And another thing is, I don't know how to do physics properly, but I have a little tip, like a little trick that pretty much gives us physics, as you can see, and what kind of less of a headache than trying to figure out physics. Because to be honest with you, I tried watching tutorials on how to do it, and none of the things they taught me worked, or they didn't work as well as they did in that video. And when I asked in building groups, either nobody wanted to tell me, or they told me you had to name the physics a certain thing, or you need to be on a certain viewer, and all of that was kind of a headache. So that's why I'm using this old little trick that pretty much works out the same way with less headache. So yeah, this is it, and we're gonna just dive in and start talking about the actual scope of it. So in this lesson, we are going to start off by building a simple house. This is based off this is a replica of my first apartment that I got when I moved down here in Delaware. And I have the blueprint from it, or the floor plan from it, and we just went off the floor plan and made it here in Second Life. So that's pretty much what we're going to be using for this tutorial, is how to build a house using a blueprint or a floor plan, and then we're going to go on from there. And things you're going to need, obviously, Second Life, your avatar, because you're going to be using your avatar as a ruler to keep everything in the proper scale. Darkstorm, because I need to extract you need to extract this and convert it into mesh. And yeah, Firestorm and Singularity, I'm not sure what the Linda Lab one, will allow you to export prims and things that are yours in DAV format, so that you can use it in external sources like Blender and things. But I like the exporter in Darkstorm better, because it grabs everything. So if we bought full perm windows, but we're not the ones who created the windows, we wouldn't be able to export them out and use it to what we wanted. Darkstorm jumps over that limitation, so we can just grab everything and then export it out and do what we want with it, and then bring it back in. So that's why I recommend Darkstorm for this. You're also going to need sparkles. Love it, need it in your life. It was in the Avastar kit if you want to. So because we're using something in the Avastar family, this actually qualifies for the Planeteer, Operation Planeteer. So if you wanted to contribute to the Planeteer project, you can also grab it down here, and then you can use it as well for this tutorial. Optional things, I guess, doors, windows, any kind of decor that you may want for this. I have some that I may have included already in the old kit, but if not, I'll throw it in there so you can follow along with it later. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for all the talking right now. Nope, can't think of anything extra that I needed to say. So let's dive into the tutorial and start building this apartment. So first thing I'm going to do is double click out of the finished product and come over here to the blank space so that we can start building. We're going to go down to the bottom and we're going to select build, and then from the build menu we're going to pick cube, and I'm going to rest our humble cube onto the ground. When our cube rests onto the ground, we're going to go to texture and we're going to load in the apartment floor plan onto the texture. Put this texture onto the cube. And we're going to close the inventory because we don't need it anymore. So with it out on the ground, we're going to right click on it and hit edit, and then we're going to hit stretch, and we're going to click the top button right here and flatten it to the ground. And then we're just going to pretty much I guess I want to flip this because it makes it a lot easier to, it takes up less room. Rotate, maybe 90. Boom, yeah, I remembered. Alright, so we have it stretched out this way. It makes it a lot easier. So now we have our flattened cube with the floor plan on there. It's time to start scaling the floor plan to match the world. I do have a problem with this floor plan though. When I lived in this apartment, I lived on the opposite side, so everything that is this is flipped on this side. So for memory's sake, so I'm able to build properly, I'm going to flip the texture horizontally. That way the windows are where it was in my memories, and it makes it easier for me to build. You don't really have this restriction. You can keep it flipped horizontally to the right way so you know which room you're in. But if you want to follow along with me and do exactly as I'm doing, I say flip it horizontally because all the cool people were on the left side. Yeah. Okay, so now we have it flipped properly and we are ready to work. We're going to need to scale it so that it's in Second Life. And this is where I said your avatar is going to come into use, because you're going to use your avatar as a ruler. Now, I know when I used to stand in the door to get my packages, I kind of just would wait for the guy to come up. I knew that standing in the doorway equals pretty much 2 me's. So we're going to stretch this part right here, the texture where it says entry, and stretch it like so until the opening equals 2 bunnies. So let's start stretching. I'm going to actually pull it this way because I find it highly distracting not having it, stretching it this way and it being squashed. So I'm just going to keep pulling it. It's easier to pull the map than it is to actually try scaling it on texture, I guess. Let's see. Nope, too small. Try stretching it out some more this way. Nope, still too small. So we're going to grab this horizontal texture stretch and pull it out a little more. 1, 2, 3. Nope, too small. Maybe one more. Alright, that actually looks like it might be 2 and some change bunnies. Alright, so the opening is right, so that means we just have to scale it right the long way. So I'm just going to get a bit of bird's eye view and stretch it down. And you're just going to have to use your imagination. If you were recreating your if you were recreating your apartment or anything, you just have to use your imagination and remember how big the room was when you were standing in it. So I know the doors right here is like 2.5, like 2 and some change bunnies, because I would lean against the door like so. And the room was pretty big because this is my tiny kitchen and there wasn't a lot of room in there. And Go into the bathroom. Yep, this feels right. I might stretch it a little bit more for the sake of, meh. I guess, like, maybe this way. And remember the hallway being kind of long, but not too long. And the bedroom. Let's see. I think this is about it. I'm not sure. I guess I should have measured it, the finished result, just to double check and make sure that's right. But I think this is a good size for the room. So this is what we're going to go with. This is going to be the scaling of the apartment. Because it feels pretty much the most right. Alright. So once you decide on the final degree of, once you get your scaling down to a place where you like it, you think it's satisfactory, we are going to start laying down some walls. So what we're going to do for that is just click on build, press into the cube, hit stretch, edit it over, and then line your prims up with the walls. And we're going to stretch it a bit. Now, you can make the walls as thick. Oh, excuse me. 1 second. Sorry, hiccups. Alright, so you can make the walls as thick or as thin as you would like it, but I would suggest making them kind of thick because this will help play into our physics trick I had mentioned earlier. Now, like I said, I tried following a bunch of tutorials that showed you how to make physics and things like that, and I tried asking questions, but I just couldn't get a solid answer or a consistent answer, and pretty much nothing worked for me. Either I needed to name my physics a certain thing, or I needed to use a certain viewer in order to get that to work. I tried everything and I just couldn't get it to work for me. So that's what happened with that. So I found out this little trick using invisiprims, which is pretty much what physics are, but in a different way. I guess I can give you a quick little example of how the trick works. So basically, when we go to when we have all this mapped out into print, the layout properly, and all the walls are down, we are going to export it out, put it into Blender, and then we're going to have the walls here on a different face. So this stuff right here, the in-between prims that won't be showing because there's going to be wall here, like a ceiling and everything, is going to be gone. So it'll be a front prim and a back prim, and there'll be this gap in between. What we are going to do is that we okay, let's see, what I better say. Let's pretend this wall right here is mesh, so I'm going to make this blue for color. The blue is going to be the mesh when we're all said and done. And we're going to make this part phantom, so we don't have to worry about it. And because it's phantom, we're going to go right through it. What we are going to do later on is that we're going to take a prim, plain old regular prim, and we're going to slap it in between the... Hang on 1 second. Sorry, my stepdad calling me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our prim and we're going to slap it in between the mesh right here, the dead space between the front and the back, and it'll just be hiding back there. So when your client goes to walk against it, they'll just be colliding into the what's it called, the invisiprim, which will be the invisible. So you don't have to worry about physics, the invisiprim colliding with the mesh, because that'll be a problem sometimes when you try to put an invisiprim there. You may select you might select the invisiprim instead of the mesh. So by putting it in between this dead space, you don't have that problem. The person is going to collide into the mesh, and only the the mesh is selected. You know what I mean. I'm sorry, I can't quite explain it, but that's pretty much what we're going to do. So you want to make it thick enough that you can slide a prim in between it. And I think as thin as it goes is that thin. So you want to make your walls a little bit thicker than this. So yeah, let's go back to putting up these walls. Sorry for that long-winded explanation, but I just wanted to make sure you guys understood fully. Alright, so let me grab that out of here. Now just get rid of this. Alright, so we're going to make sure that all our walls are lined up. And you want to give each wall its own board, I think is the right one. Especially if they have doors. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. I'm going to just shuffle this out of the way. And if you want to duplicate a good prim that you have, instead of just going build and like, instead of going build this or build right there, you could just click on the prim you want, hold down shift, and then drag it away. And that will create a duplicate prim for you. Yeah, this is where that is. This is going to be the kitchen. So, let me see if I actually line that up right. Also, you want to make sure you don't have your stuff colliding, because that'll show up. Let me show you. See, like that? You don't want that to happen, because then it'll make this weird clipping thingy. So, no collisions, please. Oh, it's the breakfast bar. I'm like, I don't remember there being a break right there in that wall. This is where the kitchen is. And they don't have it shown, but there's actually a wall right here and right here. So I'm going to have to put that in later. And we can click on this back wall right here and drag it over. And keep it going. Sorry for the house noises that may happen. I think my nieces and nephews just got out of school, so we're going to hear some kids running about, dogs barking, all that fun jazz. Oh, that's why. So you want to make sure that if it has a window, we give it that gap. I knew it was a reason why I'd usually put gaps there. Sorry. It's like, it's totally cool. No, it's not. So this is where our window will go. And then we put this right here. Right next to it. Oh, that's the clipping I was talking about. I don't know if you can see it, but it's definitely clipping. So I'm going to put this right here. Here's a new room. Hold down shift, move again, and this is where another window is. Just gonna drag this all the way over, because like I said, no collision, but we don't want gaps either, because they'll show up as soon as you put the texture on and you're like, oh, it's perfect, and then you look over and then there'll be a huge gap. You're like, no, damn gaps. So I'm just gonna keep going until So I hope that somebody watching us eventually knows the truth about physics. And when they master it, they'll be like, hey, Zero, I learned physics. This is how you do it. If you do that, that'd be great. They don't show it here in this either. But in my apartment, there was a small window here. So I'm going to just put the panel here for a window. And do the same thing. I figured this method out of making I guess I can put it right here because it's going to be a small break and a wall right there, and then this in here for the closet. Now, because this is just a closet, nothing fancy, we can actually cheat an object and make this hollow and cut off the edges. So I'm just going to make this hollow and then go to path cut. I always pick the wrong side when it comes to path cutting. And we're just going to rotate it this way. And let's say that's what, 3 walls. So even more if you want to, because the closet stretches out to like right here. So if you want, we could just make that all just one long closet. I should do that his and her closet thing, and each one has its own texture. Then you could just go and make the wall that way, but not me. Saving some friends here. Right. That going right here. Nope, that's not good. I'm actually gonna make this big. Here. Make a duplicate wall right here. I don't know if I said this already, but you know, you can fast forward this part, or once you get the swing of putting up walls, you don't have to watch me put up every single wall, but it just shows you how to get the thing down. I guess watching it. Okay. So I'm gonna bring the wall over here. Hmm. Sometimes I wonder if it's like, what if it could be this easy to build a house? That'd be fun. So what kind of music are you guys listening to the quiet time in this tutorial? Better be some hot porno music. I'm gonna put up these walls. Something like that. Hope I'm not giving y'all whiplash or something like that from swinging this camera around. Motion sickness. Guess I should warn up that camera swung around at a rapid speed may cause dizziness. So we're almost done. Just putting up the closet wall here. I think these are bifold doors that I had here that used to be here because this V thing. That's just they've been done, and they did, but it would always get stuck on the carpet, and it came off like a couple times. Half the time the door wasn't even up there. You're like, nope, forget it. It's there. Alright. So that's all the walls and stuff, right? Nope. Missing two. Right here. Like this cube, I guess. There was one right here. That, and then there was another one right here that took up the whole refrigerator. Right there. Yep. The refrigerator was like right there. Alright, so we have our room. Our map has already been laid out. Now we're going to start by pulling all the walls up. And actually, I made a mistake right here. I need to correct. So I'm going to put this right here because there's supposed to be a window right there. Shift, select another window, stretch it on over. I'm going to put this one there. Alright, so, oops, some collision. Nope, there we go. Not today, collision. Oh, wait, I just saw a gap. Alright, there we go. So now we have some of this. Now, we're going to try to figure out how high to put the walls out. How high to put the walls up. And now we're going to use... I'm sorry, I'm everywhere. Alright, let me start over. So now we're going to pull the walls up because we can't just live in it like this. Now, to make sure you got the walls the right height, it's fun to use we're going to use our avatar again as a ruler. I'm coming into the kitchen because that's where I spent the majority of my time in this apartment besides the bedroom. And I'm going to res a cube down right here where the dishwasher and the counter are. So I'm just going to stretch this out right here to there. Now, I know when I was in there that the counter came up to my stomach. I don't know if that means that they were just really high and old counters or I was just really short. But the counters came up to like right here at my stomach. And so I'm going to grab this right here, the wall, this right here. And when the counter was there was a small little gap, and then the window was up, the window bar was like right there. So I'm going to pull the rest of these up around that one. And here. So at least I know that it was at least that high. And sink. And there was a little gap here. And there's a little gap there. Then the windowsill. And the window was up here. Like right up there. Because I remember I had to hop onto the sink to reach up to close the window. So, match that. And so I'm going to grab this window prim. I'm going to pull that up here. And I'm just going to stretch this. I think... And I'm just going to try to recreate the window. The windows weren't that big. So I think this would be a pretty good recreation of that window. Yeah, it was about that. I remember it being a little bit longer, like that. Alright, so I think now that we have our window created, we can just pull all the rest of the walls around this windowsill we made. So I'm going to actually fix this clipping while I'm right here. Alright, great. So let's just pull all the walls, all the walls up to match. So we're going to just pull this up right here. And I'm actually going to need to create same gap thingy because that's a window right there. And we're going to add another top part up here. But the window down in here wasn't that low. It was high up here as well. So remember leaning against it like this, putting my arms up there on the bar so the windows were fairly up here. Just want to try to make it as even as this, but whatever. I'm going for mild accuracy, not high. But I guess if you were going for high accuracy, you would know how high the windows in your apartment were. I'll do the same thing here. Guess the kitchen window was a lot bigger than I thought. Alright, so that's that. Now we're going to pull up. Alright, so I actually messed up a lot. I was supposed to put a wall here, then pull that up here. Then do the same thing over here. Stretch it out. And then I'm going to make another one for the breakfast bar. Breakfast bar that was there, and came up to here, and I'm going to create another wall up top for that hole. Let's shrink this thing a bit. And I'm going to make that breakfast bar that was pretty much even with the cabinets, but it was a little bit higher than it. So I remember hitting my elbow on it all the time and cussing up a storm, which was fine. Yeah, I kind of missed that, having it. My house now doesn't have one, and I was like, can we just put a hole in the wall? And I was like, no, it could be load bearing. Oh. So that was where the breakfast bar was. And yeah, I guess that was pretty accurate where that is. Because remember, I had my couch here, and my friend would always bang her head on it. I secretly laughed, but I felt so bad about it. Only afterwards, because that was super funny. Alright, so breakfast bar goes right there. This is that. This is where I used to have my secret washing machine, because we weren't allowed to have them in their apartment. So I would hide it over here in the corner. So let's pull this wall up over here. I think it was. Is that really how high it was? You can look at the guidelines and make sure you got everything pretty much accurate as far as height goes. So I have mine at 3.5. Alright, so it's the same thing. 3.5, 3 meters, 3.5. Alright, and do the same thing all around. pulling up those walls. We seem to be making good time. Oh, hang on. Seems like somebody is communicating with me. I'll be right back. That was just some building group I was in, asking if anybody can do matria fashion. Now, though I can do it, I just don't feel like doing it. I'm sorry. I am so burned out with those bodies. I need a break. That's why I'm doing nice, less stressful house building. So simple, it's almost relaxing. Could be. Alright, so there was this here, and then there was a little gap. But I feel like, oh no, don't say that this isn't wide enough. Because I know there was a narrow door here. Oh, I don't think that was as wide as I thought. Alright, so whenever you come into a conflict like this, what do? Whip out reference pictures. So I think I may have some reference pictures of that apartment left that they have on their website, trying to make the place look better than what it is. So I'm just going to whip out a reference picture real quick. Add laundry. Oh, I'm like waiting for it to load. Which this is lies. My apartment did not come with a microwave. I had to buy one. Although it didn't come with a dishwasher either. So I think this must have been one of those luxury apartments that was like $100 more. Alright. There was a wall there. And as you can see, it was pretty narrow. So I guess I do not want to stretch this out more, but it looks like that's going to be the case. Alright, let's just go. Oh, yep, that makes more sense. So I messed up, and I guess I should have stretched it out one more. Guess I mismeasured, so I'm just going to grab everything on this side of the house, because it's kind of less stuff, and pull a bit, just a little bit. There we go. Guess it's a good idea to have your reference pictures out with you. So give me 1 second to clean this up, and I'm coming right back when I pull up some more walls with you. Okay, so I lined everything back up. Sorry about that. You know, the funny thing about that is I actually did that before when I first did this. I made it one size too small, and I got further into it. Like, I was already into texturing when I realized that it was too small. And then the next time I did it absolutely perfect on the first go. So I guess now I did it again, and now it's like, nope, too bad. Alright, so now we have everything lined up, and we're just going to keep pulling up them walls, making sure everything is even at a good 3.5 meters, which I guess is like average height for walls anyway. Oops. So we're just going to keep building up walls. And you use the guide to make sure everything is even. Just snap the guide, which makes things so much easier. Look at that. 3. Great. So let's keep on snapping. If you don't know where snap is, you're going to want to click this button right here, and that allows you to, without snap, with snap selected, it gives you the ability to snap to a certain height. So make everything nice and even. Up, over, 2, 3. And just keep doing the same thing. There you go. Go over here to the mini window, which is another high window, and put this here. Make another top part. Grab that actual whole thing. Okay. Alright, so that should be about the window that used to be right there. Oh, escape. New keyboard, people. Oh, jeez. Oh, sorry about that. So, I got a new keyboard, and I keep expecting 1 to be there, but then it's F1. Because my other one was this huge HP keyboard. And I got this tiny Dell keyboard. So, gotta get used to this. Alright, so now we're just going to be putting up them top boards. Grab this. Put this at different 5, like everything else. Just going to slap in all these top door headers. Making sure that they're all the same thickness. Doesn't really matter so much about the inside of it, unless you gotta go inside that room. Something like a closet. No one's really gonna be like, oh, the beam, the headers inside the closets are uneven. I want my money back. And if they do, just, I think if somebody goes that far, you can be like, psh, give them an official psh. Like it's madam, I psh with you. That is weird. Forgot to hit her in here. I'm like, alright, everything's fine. Let's... Hey, so... Oh. Forgot the living room. Let's see. Stretch. Alright, so the door was not that high. I remember that much. It should be about that big. That should be a proper door, yes. Good enough, I guess. Alright, so I did actually figure out how the doors work. Sorry. The walls are... Every time I say, I'm about to say, the walls are up and move on to the next step, I'll look around and there's always a wall not up. So let's make sure all the walls are up this time. Excuse me. Alright. Now we are done. I think done. Alright, you know what? At that map, I knew where this was. These were totally even. So, just going to delete this. Got this. Put this up here because that's what it was. Just switch it here. Alright, there we go. Now I can say we have all the walls up and we can move on. No, wall too high in here. So it's the bottom window. Okay. And I really came in this room. This is where we threw our cat. And he used to be such a prima donna, diva, evil spawn of Satan. So we let him have his own room, cat tower, food, insta scratchy thingies, and this is where he dwelled. So we really didn't come in this room. Alright, so all the windows are... Damn it. Bedroom, and by house standards, I have to say this is where the magic happened. Because cribs, you know, whenever you do a tour of a house and you get to the bedroom, you have to say, this is where the magic happens when you go into a bedroom. So, the window for the magic room, and that was a lot higher than that. Like, maybe right here. Alright. Okay. Now, all the windows, all the walls, all the headers are here in the apartment. So what we're going to do next is grab the floor, hit edit, hold down shift, select the blue arrow, and drag up a duplicate copy and make the seal. And now we have the bones all set up for the next step, which is fixing and aligning all the textures so everything looks great. So we're going to select our house, and if you want, you can look up, you can actually see that it matches the blueprint, which is cool. But if you want to get that extra space of ceiling, you may want to pull it up just a little bit more. Actually, I'm pulling from the other side. Pull from this side. Okay, good enough. So, yeah, here is the house on the outside, looking good. House on the inside, looking good. And we are going to just select everything. I have, in my builds, object scripts, options, select only my objects. That way I can just grab everything and not worry about grabbing other people's stuff down there. But if you're in the sandbox or something like that, you don't have to worry about that. But I'm building in a residential area up high, so I need that on. So this allows me to grab everything. I'm going to move it slightly to the side to see if it went. And if it's under 250 some odd prims, you can link it all together, which is what I'm about to do. So, well, wait. Let's take a raw copy of it not linked, and we're going to link it. So our house came out to like 66 prims. Huzzah. So let's start by adding in a texture. Now, I included textures, but I forgot what I named it in my inventory, so I'm just going to build a cube real quick and go into the texture, scroll over to the finished product, which is gorgeous, and steal that texture over there. This isn't really accurate at all to my apartment. The walls were like bone white, but this is pretty much what I would have done with it if I could paint. Hell, they charged me for it and I moved out anyway. I should have painted. So, alright, so what we are going to do is grab the walls and stuff. So everything that's selected. And since I'm just going to have this texture go throughout the entire house, I'm just going to press this and use the eyedrop tool and select the cube and select that. Since I have more walls with this texture than without, and hit OK. It's easier to just go to that one room that doesn't have that texture and place it in there rather than, how can I say, try to texture each wall individually. Alright, so as you see, all the textures here are wonky, but don't worry about that. That's totally cool. One thing that I keep forgetting to do is to add the floor to each room. So, for the most part, the apartment had, I'm just going to edit link parts and select the carpet. And do the same thing I did in here because I don't remember what the hell this was called. I'm like searching for it. For the most part, the apartment had carpet throughout of it. There was only maybe 2 rooms that didn't have carpet, and that was the kitchen and the bathroom. So I'm going to click build and drop a cube down and put here in the kitchen, which was some beautiful linoleum, I have to say. I heard from my friend who still lives over in there that they redid everybody's apartment and took out the linoleum, and now it's like linoleum wood flooring, like wood texture. Wood printed linoleum now, so to make them look snazzy. So you can do the same thing if you want a room to have a different carpet. Just do that, and do the same thing, I guess, in this room. And we're just going to leave the carpet in there, unless you want to put different texture inside there, but I really don't. And in the bathroom. Okay. There was actually supposed to be a marble little cube thingy right here. I don't even know what they were called, but apparently that was. I looked it up and they said that the reason why there's marble in these old doorways is because it's good luck or whatever. And I don't know why, but it's luxurious and good luck. So there was some little marble thing here that I'm going to have to find a texture for later on. Not now. It's not important. So, hang on one second. Alright, so, sorry about that. Like I said, family is at home. My family's home today. So they keep calling me every 5 seconds. So basically I'm just adding a floor texture to the rooms that I think need an extra floor. Even though everything else had carpeted, like I said. Same carpet texture throughout. Don't really know about that. Wonder if I can use the cutting tool on this. Nope. Too much. Oh well, looks like the bathroom's going to be getting the same texture as the beach color. Unless I cut it. We'll figure it out in Blender. Alright, so look around, check any gaps. So I always get it here in the bathroom. Alright. So now you may think. Alright, so I'm just going to unlink everything now. I just linked it together so I could add all the textures at once. So I'm going to unlink it and I'm just going to do some, I guess we could call it quality check. Make sure that there's no gaps and stuff there in between places. And for the most part, I did a pretty good job with it. I'm not worried about it too much, but I guess if you plan on selling your house, that's something you should definitely check for. Alright, so what am I going to do now? We're going to line up all the textures. And I think I should have kept them linked for this part. So what we're going to do is select all the textures again. Select everything again. Move and make sure you got everything. Link it back together. My bad. And then we're going to switch all the textures. Go to textures. And we're going to switch it from default to planar. Well, I'm not sure if it's planner or planar. My friend calls it planar, so planar it is. And you're like, that made it a lot worse. But shh, calm down. Let me show you what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is select the part of the textures. And I think you can go back to unlinking it again this time. So we're going to select the textures, just one wall. And we're going to select the face of said wall. And we're going to rotate it and stretch it back to where it was and what we think it looks the best at. So I think stretching it about here is even. Now I'm sure we don't want to do that with the whole wall, because if we try to do it here, we might try stretching it. And so I'm going to make this full bright so we can see it a bit better. Alright, so we try to do the same thing with this wall. Select face and stretch it. It's not going to get back there because it's different sizes. So it's going to be hard to because this is the bar here. It's going to be hard to stretch everything properly. And we may try and then tweak with this a little bit, but there's a way easier way to get everything all lined up right. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the face of the texture we want even. We're going to hold down shift. Oops. So, hey. Alright, we're going to select this face here of the texture that we want to be even. Hold down shift and select the good face, and then we're going to push this button here that says align planar faces. Ta-da! So you can just select a whole bunch of them, always making sure that you select the good one last, and then push align planar faces, and it will align them all like so. Of course, you have to make sure that you have face select face selected. It won't work if you try to do like have it on move and do edit linked and then try to do it that way. It won't work. You have to select faces. So we're going to go throughout the house and select the faces and line everything up the best we can using this technique. So I'm just going to grab everything in my view, making sure to select the good one last. So select that and then hit align faces, and ta-da! Look how easy that is. See, I didn't know this when I did the tutorial around the first time. My friend showed me and then just walked in and was like, oh, your textures are uneven, let me fix that for you. And I was oh. So we didn't know that. Now we do. Now everybody knows it. And texture shall be aligned far and wide. Alright, so I'm just going to run through the apartment and do it again. So, because it's a lot of faces and it's going to take a while to align them. But not as long as it could have with this align planar faces thing. So I'm going to pause it real quick and I'm going to come back and hopefully all the textures are aligned. And I promise we're not jumping into the finished product house. Shifty eyes. So we're going to stay here. So I'll be right back. Oh, wait, guys, while I'm still aligning textures, I guess it's something I forgot to say. When you're adding in your faces, don't worry about the inside of your door frames. For the most part, when you go to add your door, the doors come with those fancy door frames on the outside, so we don't even really need to pay attention to these because we're going to just count those as junk mesh and then remove those anyway. But unless you want your door frames, then I guess I would say add the texture. Worry about aligning the textures in those. But I'm not, because I'm planning on removing those and putting in a fancy one. So, let me get back to working on this. Okie doke, we're back. Hi, how's it going? So, what I did now? What did I do now? I grabbed the windows and the door from the finished house and the closet door. Since the door size that I had was a little different from the one I had in the completed house, the one that I liked the most, I just shuffled it over and changed it and made it look like it did there and fit the door in place. Because I actually do think this is pretty much how my door was, and anything else was either too big or too wide. So that's the only changes I really made. I can see there's some gaps and stuff here, but right now I'm not worried about that. We'll deal with that when we get to that. And right now we're not there yet. So I'm just going to put these windows on the floor. Well, look, we're going to pretend like this is a real construction thing, and I've never seen. There we go. Leaned against the wall, ready to be installed. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Alright. So we have our stuff textured, and as you can see as we stroll through the house, everything is pretty much lined up. Those are inside the wall, so we don't really care about that. Now we're going to go to the second part. When we work with the room, this is the time where you're going to assign each room its materials. So what I mean by that is actually, give me a second, gather my thoughts. I was paused for too long. I lost my chain of thought. Alright, so we are going to take the next step and assign rooms to the 3D model. When we export it out for Blender, it's going to be linked together and it's going to be one big piece that makes it easier for grabbing rather than selecting everything. But when we do our work in Blender, you'll notice that it's a lot easier to be able to assign rooms their own materials in World than it is to do so in Blender. A little less time, it's a little more time saving, I suppose you could say. Plus, when we put it in World, I guess I'll just wait till we get there and you'll see what I mean. So let's go and assign textures, materials in the world. And you do that by right clicking on the... Hey, my quick keys went away. Hang on, let me go look for that. Okay, sorry about that. My key press went away, so let me test that. Okay, so everything's fine with this now. Alright, we're going to assign a material per room. And we do that by selecting on the wall, going to select faces, then we're going to click a color, and I say, alright, let's use red for this. This red is going to be the living room. Everything that we want to be the living room will and have the same texture will all have the same color. So this is the living room, so everything here is going to be painted red. That means that when we import it back into Blender, import it back in World, everything that we see as red will have the same texture. So if anybody tries to change the texture to this, if they wanted to change the texture on this wall, it will change the same textures for everything that you see that's red. So if you want to avoid that, you would give this a different texture, different material. So colors equal materials. And so if we were to change the texture on this wall, it won't affect that wall. But for me, because everything in here was the same texture, stark white, I'm going to leave this as red. So we go inside the kitchen and we do this pretty much the same thing. Select this and that and this. Some more. Everything here is kitchen. And that's clipping. And I'm going to make it yellow because I'm just going down the system colors here. I'm going to fix this because this alright. And like I said, this inside part, I'm just going to remove that because I'm going to put one of these frames around it, and it looks nicer than having this inside. And so there's going to be a frame there. There's no point in having that extra mesh there. This is going to be its own thing, so I'm going to make this gray. And this doesn't need to be here anymore. That was just a placeholder. Oops. So I guess I should scroll some floor back up here. Alright, so floor, it's all set. And I'll do the same thing here. So face. Alright. So let's hallway texture and assign it a color. Select face. Now when we put this in Blender, oops, see, there's something I didn't notice. This is all one wall. So if I was to texture the bathroom, make it blue, it will eke out into here, and we don't want that. So we're just going to stretch this back into the bathroom, put it in here, grab this wall here, and then pull this over, keeping the shape. Of course, I want to make this face red because it's part of the living room now. It's not part of the kitchen. Alright. Cause some texture mess up, so it's here now. Align them back. Ta-da! Ta-da! Back. Alright, so we're gonna... Oops, looks like I do the same thing over here too. So let's grab this face and stretch it back inside that room. And pull this out. Alright. Do. Jeez. No, I already got all those selected. I'll fix it in a minute. And I guess I'm going to give this one purple. Using all system colors here. You can pick any one you want. You don't have to go to the top. I just do it to help, you know, keep myself to remember. And this is going into the bathroom too. Wow, I really messed up. Cursed shortcutting. Alright, so now let me see this wall. Oh, and that's why I didn't use the closet, because the bathroom wall. Shocking. It still works. Alright, okay, so we'll fix it when we get over there. This wall here. There's supposed to be a little door jammy thingy right here, so I'm just going to put this. Okay, and inside the evil cat room, I'm just gonna make this one, this, that, and that. Swirl it around town. This. I'll say that again. Let's see, we're at purple here. So like this, maybe. So this is why I go in order, because I forget what color I assigned to what. Let's see. You know, we can take the roof off. That'll help us. Beat it, roof. Alright. Okay. So, green is fine. So, everything is going to have the same texture here. Shuffle on out. And I didn't align the textures here, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Line. So it's beautiful when we bring it back in. And make this green. Don't want any. There we go. Why is there some green sticking out through that? Okay. It's just gonna. We're in Sam Hack. Okay, that's not supposed to be there, so we're just gonna pull that back there, and you'd be a good wall. Ta-da! Okay, so on to the next room. Also, white is a color too, but white is what we're going to leave as the dead stuff we don't want. So don't assign anything white. Gray, you can, but definitely not white. There we go. And do we do magenta? Green, no magenta, okay. There you go. Now that's a prime example of clipping. If you leave it like that, it'll stay like that even when you go and turn it into mesh. So, no clipping. Face. And I guess maybe change this line it back. That's too thick. Oops, broke that. Oops, continuously to break that. So, fix it. Flip. There we go. Now it's fixed. Alright, so everything has a texture. This wall is still broken. No matter how many times I do this tutorial, this wall always stays broken. Hey, guess I got the thickness wrong. Yep. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay. I'm thinking I see why I give these all one wall and didn't use this save a print thing because of this. Right up, Fragga. Alright, let's see. Okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna spin the prims and do it right. Get out of here, you. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me for a second. I'll do it right, like I should have done in the first place. So. Word to the wise. When you do it right the first time, you don't have to go back and fix it. It's one of those, the more you know, rainbow things that come over. Alright, so good. Whew, I wonder if that got on. Was that crackling recorded? Because that was pretty intense just now. Alright, put the texture straight, even in the closet. And I guess the closet can have its own face. Oh, no. Alright, so I'm just gonna make this purple. I don't feel like it. The power of ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So everything that is important is textured up. Right. Okay, so we have each room sectioned off with its own textures. Oops, sorry, got you, Mr. Closet. Let's give you a texture. Oh, it's going outside. Well, wait. We may be able to fix this. Let me see. Grab this. This right here. So it's there. Pull that over there. Wait. Yeah, there we go. These are shoddy building practices. Half of this isn't cool. Yeah, wow. Well. Nope. Ugh. And then, alright, fine. We'll spin the print down. Alright. There. Better. So if you want it, you can give the closet its own texture. And I think canary is taken. And that one. And orange should be safe. Alright, those are... Oops. Inside the closet is all off. Whoops. Right in there. And then press this. Then do this. This. And do this. Oops. This. That. Wait, let me select. This. That. This. That right here. And now let's click this and give it all. There we go. So each one has its own material when we go to edit it and eventually bake it and all the rest of the jazz. Sometimes turning off the highlight helps. Yeah, I think this is the most even I've ever made this house. Alright, so we have the stuff and everything is set. Everything's great. Great. Just the way I like it. Since I only picked top colors, guess that would help us with the tile in here. And I'm just going to put that on default and let that just be one. And the same thing with the carpet in here. We don't have to really line up the flooring, so it doesn't need to be planar. Alright, carpet. Give them their own bottom ones. It's not the same red. Do that yellow. And kitchen. Let's see. I guess it would help if I made this plain. Oh wait, that's blank. I didn't use that ugly shade of green. Okay, and if you're confused, you can always look at the hex. So the hex color for this is the same, 80, 80. Oh, so that's the same. I have that. I don't know. There. If it's not, we'll fix it later. Damn it. No. Black. There we go. That's the color we ain't used. Alright, so we have our house and all the textures are lined up. This will be the time where you will decide whether or not you want to do the outside of your apartment. Like, if you are going to have doors that actually open up and it's just like one of those role-playing things, then you're going to want to align the textures for the outside of this as well. If not, you can skip this step altogether. So select this face, then hold shift, select that face, planar line up. Select this one, then we'll flip it for good measure. Select all those. Whew. I did not think that was going to work out. Alright, so we have all that, and now we're going to give our outside wall its own, which I should have done while I had everything highlighted. We're going to select the outside and give it its very own special color that lets us know that this is the outside. Trust me, this makes it so much easier once we, I messed up right there, but to be honest, I'm not going to keep the outside. This is just for people who may want to keep the outside of their building. Alright. I hate colors. So, there we go. Each one has its own very special color. Alright. Now comes the fun part. We have everything started, so we're going to just go over here and start adding in our windows. So, grab a window and slap it on into, there it goes. Best to use them when they're upright. Not the way this window was, so I'm just going to stretch the walls a little bit. I'm messing up my beautiful thing. So we're gonna just click and slide and put all the windows where they belong. So I'm just gonna pause it because this video is already long. You don't really need to see me put in all these windows and stuff, do you? Alright, so I'll be back when we have all the windows in. I kind of forgot that I paused it, so I started walking around the house talking and like, alright, now we're moving on to our next step and the thing's not blinking. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we have our windows in and we're going to hold off on putting the doors in because, well, really, when you go and buy a door in Second Life, is already shaded and baked and all that jazz. So you really don't need to do it unless, you know, it's one of those full perm ones and you want to export it all at once so that it's yours when you import it back in. I guess that's the only reason why you would do it, or you wanted to bake something there. But really, you could just... What was that? Suki, move! Sorry, cat. Okay, so, you know, you don't have to take the doors with you. You can, it'll save you some upload costs. You can do the doors later, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take these boxes and I'm going to move everything that I don't want to export out of the house and throw it on the other side. Same about the ceiling. My ceiling was like white, so I don't really need that in here. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to grab everything again. And guess what we're going to do? Link it together. Alright. You see how it was like 80 something, but the fact that it's prims combined with mesh, it kind of dropped down to 40. It's like weird. That's how mesh is. Mesh and prims, they glitch out Second Life when they do that. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But right now, that's good. And if you want, you can just, you know, leave it as is. And, you know, not let it be this Nickelodeon dream house, but do it right. Okay, so what we are going to do now, so I'm going to double check and make sure all my rooms are the same color and everything is the way I wanted it to be, and it is. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. And then we're going to go into our Darkstorm and we're going to export the house up. So hang on, I'm going to go and grab Darkstorm and then we're going to come and begin exporting. Okay, so we're here and we're inside of Darkstorm. Shoot. And one thing you're going to have to make sure you do is when you go into your Darkstorm, go to your quick preferences and turn your LOD factor up to 4. And you may want to increase your draw distance a little bit. This is because sometimes, depending on how the mesh you are working with, like let's say, for example, Windows, notorious for this. If the LODs on this are pretty bad, sometimes when you zoom out, it breaks like this. So if we were to try zooming out and trying to select it, let's see, like this, and export it, we'll get it broken like this and not the way it's supposed to. Sometimes turning up your draw distance helps, sometimes it don't, but I know having the LOD factor up does reduce this. So whenever you're doing your extraction, it's best to be as close as you can to the mesh you're exporting so you can get the best result. Because I'm like, you know, right here on one floor, everything loaded and fine, and because we linked everything together, it's easier for us to just grab it rather than having to zoom out and trying to select everything that's here. So that's why I said it's good to link before we got to the stage. So talking aside, let's start exporting. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go save as, and I'm going to say this Colada, and it's going to have the textures that make this up, and we're going to hit save as. And then I'm going to find, well, I was already here in house tutorial, so I'm going to go new house that day and wait for it to save, and it's saved. So now we have our house exported. We're going to hop out of here and go into Blender. Okay, everybody, hi. So we bought in our house and it's here in Blender, looking all beautiful. So I guess I don't know. Alright, I feel like I cheated. I didn't show you how I bought it in. So we're going to open up Blender and we're going to go File, Import, Colada Day. And we're going to pick the, oops, we're going to pick new house and then import. There. And that's how I bought the house in. When everybody's saying, how'd you bring the house in, Zero? I'm like, So I'm going to turn on Blender screencast for a minute. And just so it's helping you with quick press at the bottom. Alright, so we have our house. And what we are going to do is press A and select all. And then pull it up so that the grid isn't going through it, because that drives me absolutely bananas. Then we're going to click on one wall. So just object mode decides that it wants to recognize it. Then we're going to press A. And then we're going to hit join. Nope, wait, we are not going to do that. Don't press join yet. We are going to first grab these windows. Trust me, this is what we're going to do. Grab the windows, all the windows. Like this window. Press M and send it to another layer. We are not... These windows can be quite a pain later on when you're trying to work on something. So I'm going to send them all to their doom over yonder into a whole new layer. Get out of here, windows. Alright, so windows, good. Then we're going to press A, and now, I forgot you got to click on one first. Then we press A, and then we hit join. And this is at the time where you can think of whether or not you want to decimate it or not, but it's not that heavy, so I'm going to keep it as is. Alright, so oh, I forgot. Let me press Control Z and undo that. We're gonna send the floors to another as well. Get out of here, floors. Which I think I sent to the window layer. Yeah, I did. The floors can have their own layer. You get on layer 3. Alright, so we're gonna go back to the house. And I'm gonna press A. And now I'm going to click on 1. Now I'm going to join. So our house is all one solid material. Great. And you can see over here on the side, here are all the material slots that make up our house. But if we were to put a texture on this, you will see that they're all gone. All our careful work is gone. So we got to correct that. We're going to go over to the side, and you'll see the arrow turn into a cross. And we're going to open up a new window. And we're going to go to... Okay, I was just making sure that thing was recording again. I did not want to be talking, and that went off. Okay, so we have a new window, and we're going to select UV Image Editor, and it's going to create a new panel for us. Then we're going to press the N key. Oh, we're going to click on the house. Then we're going to go press Tab. We're going to press A. And then we're going to press Alt J and turn our triangles that made up the house into quads. Since, you know, that's all the rage these days. Then with our UV, and over here in our UV window, we're going to press N. And if you have Sparkles Pro installed, you'll see the sparkle tools shine on the side. And on the sparkle tools, it might be like this down here. So you're just going to open it up. You're going to see a whole bunch of boxes, and it says Prim, and it got a number next to it and stuff. What we're going to do is select all these boxes. Just check them all. Leave no box unchecked. And we're going to press the button at the bottom. So I'm going to meet you. There's a lot of boxes. So I'm going to meet you when I'm done. Oh, for Avastar team, for anybody who's watching this, can we have a button that, you know, selects all if you just click and then drag it down and it selects all of them? Because that'd be great. Oh, wonderful. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to click all these boxes and then show you what we're going to do after they're all clicked. So, be right back. Okay, so we have all the boxes selected. And then we're going to press this button that says copy to, and then whatever it's selected to. So, let's let it go transfer to that. Alright. So right now you have two options. And because of that, I'm going to go into object mode real quick, just because. And I'm going to select all, and Shift D, click, and then I'm going to send the duplicate down here. So let's work on the duplicate real quick. We're going to add in a new texture. Say you were aligning the textures in World and you didn't quite like it. You want to have can't think of what it's called. You only want one texture on this whole build, and you want it all to be like this dark, shadowy kind of sci-fi bake. You can do that. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So first thing I'm going to do is select the whole texture, and then we're going to pick in that new material we made. And so you can see how it looks like. We're going to turn over to our shading, and we're going to hit texture shaded, texture solid, and I'll show you that it's all black and stuff. So what we're going to do is press A and go over here to our UV window and press A and select everything. And then we're going to press UVs and then pack islands. Okay. Now we have our island thoroughly packed. We are going to go over to this little world tab and turn on ambient occlusion and multiply, and then we'll turn our samples up to like maybe 17. Well, 20 is the 21, 22 is the magic number from what I learned. And then we're gonna go over here to what's this thing called, render tab, and we'll go down to bake. And we're gonna go to ambient occlusion. I heard turn clear off works sometimes, but whatever. And we're just gonna bake. And we're gonna wait for this little box up top to bake, to fill up. So I'm just gonna pause it, and then we're gonna come back when everything is all baked. Okay. So when we finished baking, you see it came out like this. Isn't that pretty? Alright, so it's like this, and what we're going to do next is first save the texture, because you know how sometimes they get messed up. So house texture, good. Okay. Alright, so we have this is one way you can just do a house without having to worry about texture in it. But if you want to keep your textures that you worked hard on, and like those textures that we had over, and what's this other thing called that we had in Second Life already set, you would just not do that and leave it as is. So what we're going to do now is, I guess this is where you would decide whether or not you want it to, what's it called, decimate or do anything to reduce it while it's all connected together, because it makes it a lot easier. If everything's fine when you like the way it is, you can move on to the next step. But oh, I forgot, we can, let's see, what can we do? One second. Okay, sorry about that, but my blender crashed and I gotta kind of start over a little bit. So, remember when we did the duplicate and we just baked a map onto it? Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, when I first did it, it came out like this. I don't know why it did that. It normally shouldn't. I guess because it was a dupe. So, what I ended up doing was pressing copy to button and the sparkles tools again, and pretty much unwrapped it, and then I packed the islands and then baked from there, and that gave me the map that we had before, which I'm gonna see if I can open up, and hopefully it still works on here. House tutorial, the house good texture. Let's see, doesn't look like it. Shading, texture display. Ugh, not quite. So we can try it again. Give it another bake around. Oops, no. I'm curious. Oh, I was curious as what it would look like with that on there. So let's try it in AO bake on this again. I'm sorry for messing this up. I guess I'm a little out of it. Let's see. Turn this on and multiply. And turn the samples up to 22. That was the magic number. Turn off clear and hit bake. And wait for this bar to bake. So I'm gonna pause it and be right back. Hopefully I don't crash again. Okay, so we have our duplication bake, and I'm gonna save it. Yeah. Alright, so we can actually export the dupe and then bring it in world while it's like pretty, and we'll do the same thing that we're doing now with the other one. So let me just take the duplication one. So what we're going to do is press tab, then we're going to press A and select them all, then we're going to press P, and then we're going to deselect separate by materials. Then we're going to go tab and go back into object mode. Then we're going to press A and select everything. And I guess for this one I can select the windows too. Grab those. And then we're going to export as a regular collage day. And go to File. Over here on the export menu, I'm going to go to where I have the houses saved. And I'm going to save it as a SL open sim static. Include material textures. Do I need the material textures? Yeah, why not? Okay, so we have that, and then we're just going to name this Dupe House Shaded. It sounds terrible. Dupe House Shaded. .day, and hit OK. So, I'm going to run over here to Second Life real quick. Run out of room on my workout station here. So I'm just going to move our original house over here. And the beta grid is down again for me, so I'll be doing this with my real money. Dupe house. Nope, it wasn't here. It's in the house tutorial. Dupe house. Okay. This is a building component. I'm not sure if that really does anything, but so I turn low to the lowest and include texture, and hopefully I got enough money. The land impact is kind of up there, isn't it? I wonder. Let me go back in Blender real quick, check something out. Alright, so these are the rooms and stuff that we sorted through. I'm going to select this layer real quick, send it to right here, and grab this. This is all the extra prims that I was talking about before. That just adds extra cost to our upload. So I'm just going to select this and throw it in the corner. We're going to grab this room and move it back to our dupe. And this is also a time where you would figure out if you want to take in the outside layer as well. This is how it's going to look in Second Life. If you don't, turn back face color on. So the inside would be totally cool, which is great for those secluded skyboxes. Not so great if you're going for the skybox with privacy. So it's up to you whether or not you're going to bring those in or not. So I'm just going to select everything and then try exporting that again. Let's see what happens this time around. Dupe house shaded. Okay. Now let's try it again. There you go. Look at that. 16 versus the 70. So good stuff. Wait a minute. Did I grab the inside? Oh crap. Hang on. I'm not sure if I grabbed the inside or did I grab the outside. Back to Blender. I'm the worst. Alright. Back face. Okay. Yeah, that's everything. So we got this, and then that's what I selected. So just to be sure, I'm going to export it one more time, and this dupe house 2 or 1, and bring it in. Okay. In a minute now. There we go. And, well, here we have our house. I think it's pretty like this. But didn't I have windows with that one? Oh, I forgot to grab the windows. That might be why the prim count was so low. Let me see. Try to look again and see what we get from that. It's a little bit bigger with the windows included. I'm not uploading that texture twice. So it was like 19 prims, the show. Hey Muta. Alright. Ugh. Well, ignore the windows. Double tap over here. And you can see, here we are. Walk through this house. Alright, so this was just to show you what it looks like when you just do one of those regular shadow baking. If you don't have a texture and you just want to throw a house up there. So I'm just going to get rid of these, and we're going to go back to the house where we put all that hard work into by getting the textures and stuff right. So let's leave the dupe alone and go back to our normal one. And we're going to pretty much do the same process. Tab, have everything here. Press J and made it, Alt J and made it quad. We've ran it through sparkles. That's why all the maps are like this. But this time we're not going to pack the, this time we're not going to pack the islands. We're going to leave it as is. And that should pretty much give us what we just worked with. So I'm going to move this up. And I'm going to press tab again. And then press P. And then select by material. And this is going to give us that result we saw with the dupe house, where we're able to select the innards, if you will call them, and then move them right here. And this is giving us that shell of a house that we are going to need for working. If you want to do the texture work and Blender stuff or switch it over to cycles, this will be the time to do all of that. I just never mastered cycles. Well, actually, that's a lot. I use cycles. I watched that Born CG tutorial on cycles, and I was like, cycles! But then I forgot all of it when I learned how to rig. It was like it just pushed all that cycles information out, and then rigging came in. And so I forgot how to do all the fancy textures and lighting things. So if you want to go watch one of those tutorials, I'm sure they'll show you, and you can jazz up your house and, get the textures and stuff ready. So that's that. So we're just going to pretend that the textures that we have in the world are fine, and I'm just going to export it all the same way we did with the dupe house. I'm going to grab the windows this time around. Oh, because I shifted it up. Okay. So let's see. Control Z back down. So add it down. See the windows here. Yeah, the windows are in this time around. Shoot. Alright, so press A and grab everything. I'm going to press P, select by material. Grab this, the innards. Press M and then move it down here to another layer. Hold down Shift, select the windows, press A, select everything. And then we are going to export. It's the static day. Make sure you get this checked. And then go to the house tutorial folder, and we're going to do the real house SL textures.day. So you know which one it is. Hit export. And I'm going to hit save as and save it here so you guys can use it later. And that's pretty much it that we need with Blender right now. So I'm here in Second Life, back in here. And I'm going to go File, Upload, Mesh. I named this Real Second Life that one. Windows seem to be there. Low and lowest at 0. Include textures. Here we go. Oof. Alright. And then we're going to upload it. So, render. Oof. So we now have our prim house is now a mesh house with all the textures and stuff in there like we had it. Alright, yay, we're almost done. You had to take a break a couple times. I know this tutorial's getting long, but trust me, we're almost done. Alright, so we have our textures, our thing about this stuff. This is in here now. Let me see this face. Okay, good. Alright, so everything has it's in here, it's textured, it's mesh, but the physics are crazy, so we're going to start adding in our faux physics to make this work. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to close this inventory window because we don't need it open. Second, I'm going to turn this into let me see something first. Yeah, so I figured that would happen. One thing that I always hate about making a mesh floor is that whenever you try to build on it, sometimes it doesn't work. So in most cases I don't use the mesh floor. I just have the floor there so it's there to build, but in the end I just unlink it and we remove it. But we'll do that last. I guess I gotta do it now. Let's get this out of here. We don't need it right now. We're going to first create a cube. And then we're going to hold down Shift and create a cube next to it. Just for reference. And I'm going to put this cube texture and make it red. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make it blue. Pretty blue. Yeah, okay. Alright. Now we're going to add in our faux, what are those things called? Faux physics. And we do that by resin another cube, making it thin, like so. Stretching it up as high as the walls we want here. And we're just going to slide it in between those dead spots we were talking about before. So, here we go. There you go. It's kind of hard to see the dead spots, but they're definitely there. There we go. I like to make it a little bit taller than the wall so it's easier to grab. And we're just going to go across. And you're going to leave the headers open right here, because sometimes you have an avatar that's too tall, and then if we were to put a block here, they would go bonk and not be able to go through the door. So we're going to leave the headers open. And because these aren't going to be textured like the walls, we don't have to be fancy with them. For example, we can grab shift here and then rotate this over like so. And we can make this one wall. Just slide it in there. Like so. Okay. And we can stretch it along this whole wall. Because it's going to be transparent anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Unless you plan on jumping out the window. But I don't really think a lot of people do that, so hold shift and then do the same thing over here. Okay. Yeah, it's right between there. Good, good. Alright. Almost done. Stretch it here. We'll do the same for our troublesome closet. You can make it thicker if you want to. You find yourself, but I think this thin is fine. It is up to you. Your world, your closets. Oops. So hopefully, maybe somebody will get sick of this and figure out how real physics are done, and they can show me how it's done properly. But until then, full physics for the win, right? Let's see, it was too thick. Or just didn't make it. Let's see. Scoop this in. There we go. Alright. Alright, so that should be pretty much. Nope, still forgot one wall. One wall to rule them all. I want to say that's it. I got one going through the back door. I should have one going through the back because It's a dead wall. Well, for me it is. I don't go outside, so I don't really need there to be a. But if you want to have a door that actually leads to the outside, you can get rid of that if you want. Oh, what I was talking about with the back side, see, we can actually remove this if you wanted to save some more prims or a landing pad, because it would only be like that movie studio kind of thing where it's only visible from the inside, you can't see from the outside. But it's not that bad, so I guess we can leave it. Alright, so we have our physics, and if you want to test them, just feel free to crash into the wall and see if everything looks fine. If you go through something that you shouldn't be going through, add another board. Do the same thing over here. Grab this little one. Shift. Oh, I forgot I have edit link selected. So just like this. Drag it on over here. Put it in between. Alright, so I should. Alright, so I guess we should do it over here too. Alright, so we have walls that we can walk through without trouble, and we're going to select the mesh part and then make it all phantom. Everything phantom. So there. Now we can test the collision properly. Ow. I feel bad for my poor avatar and slammed into the door, the walls. Okay. So once you have slammed yourself through all the walls, let's see if you were going through. Bang. Alright, once you do that, we're going to pick up our mesh and slide it slightly to the left. Grab, hang on, I'm going to select it to the left and then link it with the red cube. Okay, now we're going to just move that over there, and then we can grab all the prim parts. That was not true mesh parts, beat it. Grab all the prim parts. Link those together. And grab the mesh part, press Ctrl Z, and it'll snap back. So now we have a control box for the, what's this stuff called? The physics, the fake physics, and the mesh. So we can grab a fake physics box anytime and move that all at once. So it's no good having them visible like this. So we're just going to select texture, hold down the Alt key, click on the texture, and then scroll your mouse in. So now they're all invisible. We're going to select the edit link parts and grab our cube and turn the transparency down to 0. That way we know it's there when we need to select our thingamabob, this stuff. Alright, getting there. 2 hours, jeez, I'm so sorry, but we are almost done. Whoa, wait a minute, something ain't right here. I'm crashing into a wall where there should be no wall. This is phantom, right? No, it's not. There we go. Alright, so what's next? Well, first we gotta bring our floor back because it's kind of silly. I hate it so much whenever I try to res a cube on a mesh floor. The floor, it always gives me that you can't res a thing here. I always hated that, and I never understood why it happens with mesh floors. So when I build my houses, I always just have a prim floor, because there's no point in, like, okay, I have a prim the exact same shape, a mesh thing floor the exact same shape as this prim, and I put a prim on top of it when I could just put the prim down first and forget about it. So it's easier for me to just do that and not link it to the mesh square, but link the stuff to the prim square. So that's what I'm going to do. Link that to the prim square. Let's see, what are we going to do now? We're going to select face and then bring back our carpet, because our floor is currently covered in pine. Go to texture, there, and then we have a texture back. Giant carpet. Just going to hold down Alt and scroll everything in. Doesn't need to be planar since it's only one. My carpet was not this clean ever. It's kind of this dark, a little bit darker than that, like that. Yeah, like that brown. And you want to try to make everything even. Make sure the circles are circles and the squares. Alright, so I have my house in. Actually, I don't think it was. I don't know. This is the time where I wish my husband was home, but I could ask him. Anyway, for safety's sake, let's just say it was this bad. Alright, so we have our windows in, carpet in, ceiling needs to come back. Mr. Ceiling, please come back. And there we have our ceiling back. So now we have a mesh-ish apartment. And I like to snap everything that isn't phantom to our, what's it call it? Phantom spot. Or, no. I'm going to name this box so I can stop confusing them. The red box is going to be our meshes box. And the blue box is going to be our physical box. Pretty sure I spelled that wrong. I just call it hard box. Yeah, the hard box. Everything we want to collide into will go onto the blue box. Everything that should be phantom will go onto the red box. So I want the ceiling to be solid, so we're going to link it to blue box. Alright, now we still have those gaps to deal with, and this is why I said I was going to put the door in last. I'm going to go over here and grab the door again. Come over here, door. Which decided I didn't want to work, so I'm going to grab this one and that. Scoot it over. I'll bring this over here. And you see how it has this pretty door frame? Yeah, we're going to be using that door frame. Now, I'm going to use the door frame. I'm just going to hold down shift and duplicate it over here. And then I'm just going to fit them into the door. Like so. And we're going to duplicate this door frame because I'm going to use it everywhere. And to help cheat a little bit, because you remember when we did it, combined our windows and mesh together, with prims together, and it made the prim count go down? We're going to cheat and do the same thing with our what's that thing called? Our hard box. And try to make the prim count on that go down a little bit. It may work, it may not work, but it's definitely worth a try. It may keep the prim count down a little bit more. So let's give it a test. First, let's position this properly. These. Okay. So we got this. I'm going to hold the shift, select the hard box. I'm going to link it to it. Look at that. It dropped significantly. Tee-hee-hee-hee. So we're just going to cheat with that one. Because I'm pretty sure these door frames need to be phantom. So that's just us cheating to drop the prim count down a bit. So now we can load more prims onto it and it won't add the prim count, I guess. Anyway, let's keep on snapping. And we're going to add door frames and doors all throughout the house. So I'm going to hold down shift, grab another door frame. And because it needs to be phantom, I think. Yeah, and because it needs to be a phantom, I think we're going to keep loading it to the red box or the meshes box. So let's load some door frames. You know, I think before I exported it out, it probably would have been a good idea to put some doors up, just to see if they were scaled properly. Nah, too late now. I'm not going back. There was actually a spiral dangly thing in there. It's like boing, that stops the door from slamming against the wall. My cats would go crazy with that thing. First it was their enemy, because if it boinged, they would run. And then if it boinged, they took it as a challenge. And they would just smack it all the time. You'd be sleeping, you hear boing, boing. Because of them playing with it. So I wonder how to make those in Second Life. That'd be fun. Sadly, I don't have any here in my new house, so I can't replicate the boing sound accurately, and I think that's 90% of the allure. I closed Blender, and I just remembered that I left the floors for the bathroom in Blender, and I didn't render it out. And I also remembered just now that in the process of texturing said bathroom, that I forgot to make the one wall a different material. So it won't be as accurate as I wanted it to be. Alright, so all the doors have door frames. And that just made it look 10 times better. Oh, forgot. Gotta put a door frame here. Although, in retrospect, I think I made the ceiling a little too high. I remember it being just tall enough where I could reach my hands up and smack. Oh, well, no, I just stand on my toes and do that. Okay, it's right. I'm fairly short. So, put this right here, and that right here. And that makes a door frame. So let's link all these frames together. Link. that's all of them. Now with them all selected, grab the red box, and then we're going to link it to the box. And I dropped the print count down again. That's a dang good door, if I do say so. So, combined together, 28 prims all together, this house came out to be. Alright, so if you want, you can leave it as is, and that's pretty much a house. I guess I messed up here and I forgot to redo the texture of this. Don't look at it. We'll put a plant there or something. So your guests don't see this on the floor. You can actually just edit linked, grab these two, and we can put these on top of the house. Kind of like service boxes. You can grab them later. So they're up there and out of the way. It feels like home. I miss this apartment. The sweet smell of young independence. So stretch this back out a bit. Don't want anybody seeing those gaps now, do we? Alright. So we have a house. And I guess I can go and shop for doors, but I'm way too broke to buy some more doors. Alright, so what are we missing now? We need a light source in here because I don't have money for a lamp. Dang, I really did spend all my money. It's my fault uploading that dang dupe house twice. Anyway, so I'm gonna upload a hemisphere. I'm gonna turn it upside down. Put it up on the ceiling. Because seriously, that's not that far off from what the light was in there. And we're going to features and we're going to push light. And we're going to add some light into here and make it. I don't like stark white lights. I always hate those. I made it my mission to just buy soft lights. Like those with a little bit of yellow warm light. There we go. My house should always be filled with warm lights. In real life and in second. And there was no light here in the living room. It was a light in the kitchen. And let's see, there was light in the hallway. And there was a light in the bathroom. Actually, there were 6 lights in the bathroom. It's one of those, what do you call those lights? The vanity lights. So I'm just going to put one in here. Like so. Alright. So we have some light. Have an apartment floor. Okay, so now we're going to go into some fun topics like what are those things called? Normal maps and bump maps. And things that give your walls and stuff some oomph to it. So say you don't quite like these walls and you want to, again, give them some oomph. We're going to go to a website and generate said oomph. So pause it for quick. Alright, so I'm here. Daily stuff. And I'm going to go to normal map online. If you watched my old Let's Texture video, you'll remember this website. Although it says it works best in Chrome, it does just well in Firefox. Before you can do anything, I'm going to switch it from plane to cube. And you can actually, the website updated where you can import your own model into it and look at the bump map be applied to it. Or normal map. This one. I forgot what those are really technically called. So what I'm going to do now is go into pictures. Oh no. I forgot. We are going to go into the folder where our house tutorial. And we're going to look for our wall texture. So I'm going to view it in large icons so I can find it. I had this one. And I'm just going to drag it over here. And it's going to show us what the wall looks like as, default. If you want to see this texture on this material with it, we can click the diffuse and click load. And then select that texture again. And it'll show us what the wall looks like. If you like the way this is so shiny, we can turn the shine down. Play around with it. It's not exactly my cup of tea of messing with, so I just stick with the normal. So yes, remember, stronger it is, thicker the lines. Let's just play with these levels until it looks the way you think it should. But remember, you want to try to keep it as blue as possible. Second Life is not quite friendly to as much as with greens and yellows. Blues is the best way for it. And I think this is the prettiest one. So I'm just going to name this house wall 22, because I'm pretty sure I saved the house wall before. And we're going to hit OK. And it'll just download on here. And it's going to always go to your downloads folder. So I'm going to go upload this. Because I am broke, I'm going to upload it onto the local texture. So local texture, add, and then we're going to go to, where did I save it? My downloads. Scoot through all my download junk. Not sure what format it was in. Oh, ping. And Housewall 22. Whoops, it's the wrong one. So select. Yeah, let's just select it all. Oh. I'm sure it'll be fine. Bumpiness. And then local texture and house wall. And it does this to your walls. And you want to pick synchronize materials. It seems a little intense, especially because it was on those as well. So I'm just gonna cancel, and we're gonna do it proper. We're going to edit link parts and select the walls. See, remember what I told you before when we had assigned all of those the same color? Now all of this is one whole group of stuff. So try that again. House wall, and it comes in like this, which doesn't look quite right. It kind of looks cell shaded. I think I'm gonna try a house wall that I had before, where it's, this is it. Let's see, where is it? So yeah, house wall. So let's see. I think that one looks a lot better than the other one. So that's how you would add, and then we do the same thing for the carpet. Select the face, go to materials, go to local, house wall, which is carpet, and then we push synchronize materials, and it'll line up. So now the carpet looks a little bit better, I think. I suppose. It could just be in my mind. And you gotta make it a little bit bigger to actually see it. And there we go. Okay, so we have a house with its textures, and we have this weird black and white tile. So tile is always the thing you want to experiment with, that bump map on anyway. Materials. So let's see. Black tile. Oh, that was it. That was the tile we had. Damn you, Home Depot. Give me that picture. No, it wasn't quite it. You know something I always wonder? If you're looking for black and white tile and you're looking for a texture, do you go for black and white seamless, or do you go for black and white tile of tile? Alright, so let's just pretend that, Zero's landlord wasn't a butt and I had creative control over my apartment. So I'm gonna look around for some tile that I would like to have had. I think this was kind of close to what was in there, except for it might have been blue, not black. So I'm just gonna save this in here. And this is pretty much where your fun tile thing. Ours was like mint. The wall was mint and white, like that, but a little bit lighter. The lays of this one. This is like subway tile. Oh, that's beautiful, right? Hmm. Google is your friend. Sometimes Second Life may have the tile, but it might not. I have no idea how to spell linoleum, so I'm gonna pause this and save my. Oh yeah, so I totally spelled linoleum correctly. This is the linoleum that used to be in my kitchen. Alright, so we have linoleum, we have the stuff. Let's go back into Second Life and add those textures in. Again, they're on local because I was poor. So, desktop. Oh, why not? Ooh, that's pretty. That is gorgeous. Absolutely fabulous, darling. I wouldn't change a thing. So I guess I'm gonna stop and wait till I'm able to buy a tub. But for now, the bathroom has tile. Walk out. I think that's mesh masquerading as tile, as prim. Yes, it is. Can't fool me. Build. Oops. And I don't remember what I was supposed to do. This is supposed to be local. Add tile. I hate it slipping and sliding and trying to keep this damn linoleum clean. Every time I got it clean, something would spill on it and somehow it would turn sticky. It was like water. It wasn't even juice or anything. It was just, oh, I spilled water. It's cool. I'll get it in the morning. And then when it dried, it was always sticky. Damn cheap linoleum. We couldn't get the good stuff. Alright, so that's what was going on in my kitchen. And Tile loves bump map. So go here if we want. And find it. Right here. Ew, so gross. Alright, so we're gonna turn that down a bit. Yes, I mean, green and yellow, Second Life hates that. So it's this. Let's see if I can invert that. Okay. I actually would like it a little bit more blurry. Okay, that's good now. Alright, so back in the second life. Wow, seeing this kind of makes me want to cry. As much as I hated the management there, some of the management, because, you know, you got the good managers and then the bad ones, I really did love that apartment. And just looking at this is kind of making me all misty. Like, my apartment. Yeah, I guess I didn't make it deep enough. Synchronize. Ah, there it is. Okay. Oh, wait, back to normal. Oh yeah, this solid. I'm scared to type in solid dark wood. Let's see. Here we go. That right there. That's the texture. Oh my god, it's perfect. You can probably go for something like this as well. Hopefully it's not too gigantic. So take this, skip that. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. Alright. So, yeah. Let's do that. Remember, these are hard. So, you want to grab those two texture thingies and link them to the hard box. Link. So that's pretty much everything about making a house. Now we have the outside of the skybox to deal with, and this is like going to be the easiest part of this whole thing. So what we do is we're looking out the window and we see nothing but air. This really bothers me. I hate that I wasn't able to fix that. Alright, anyway, so what we have, we're going to first build, and we're going to create a box. Oh, hollow first. Hollow out the box. I created the box and knocked myself out of the sky onto the ground. And we're going to surround our little house, because it wouldn't be a skybox if it didn't have a box. I'm just going to put it around as tightly as we can, making sure that the places that don't have windows to look out are right up against it, so like that. And maybe put a little bit of room right here. Just wanted to try to keep your profile small, just in case you got neighbors or whatever. And hollowed out as much as we can. Alright, so we have our skybox, which still isn't much to really look out of. So we're going to create a panorama to look outside. So I'm going to enter the place where this apartment comes from. So we're going to use Google Maps. So go to Google. So embarrassing. Type in Men's Village. God, I hate this place. And we're going to click See Outside. I can be honest, the only thing that was truly wonderful about this apartment is that across the street was a Taco Bell and a Home Depot. Also, I guess what all my friends that came over said that this was actually the best thing ever. There's a... Where is it? That Quiznos Subs is closed. It's not there no more. If you can look up a little bit, there's a supermarket size boozorium. So you can get all the wines that ail you from a supermarket sized wine store, and of all alcohol. Only thing I got there was just sake for cooking. I don't drink. And I'm not winking either. I seriously don't drink. Okay, so let me go back to this stupid apartment. Oh, if I can get back there. Let me go back. Okay, you don't have to use this apartment. You can use any location that you want. The problem with me is that my apartment was up here, not necessarily in this building, but on the 3rd floor. And sadly, Google doesn't have any high up pictures with it. So I'm going to have to pretend like my apartment was on the ground. So once we get a shot that we like, and just so you guys aren't being like smart, like I'm going to drive by Zero's house. I don't live there anymore. Nowhere near. Though sometimes I wish I did. Anyway, so here's what we do. First things first, we are going to grab our, I don't know if you guys had, and I think that's the material that I forgot to add in here, was gyoza. And I'm going to select, I'm going to put my finger here and know that that's the beginning point, like right here. And I'm going to crop this image. Great. So we're going to go back to, and I'm going to save this picture. And I'm going to save it on my desktop. So I'm going to go back here. And let me see. And I'm going to rotate it to the next part. Like right here. And I'm going to add up gyoza again. Put my finger here. And snapshot. Trying to keep the images as even as I can. You need a minimum of 2 pictures to make a panorama. I think this is where my finger was, right here. If you want to make a 360 one, I think the more pictures you get, the better. Whoops. That's a bad one because it's got the address right there. I didn't notice the address on the ground. Oh well, it's just for demonstration purposes either way. You can edit it out if it really bothers you, but me, it really doesn't. Alright, so we got 3 pictures to make our panorama. And I'm going to add actually one more picture in there just for the hell of it. So I'll take this here and rotate it a bit back here. Try to keep it straight. Use your gyoza again. Alright, so we just looked all the way, it spun around. Beat it with the picture. Alright, so there we go. So we got all the pictures. And we're going to go here to daily stuff again. And I'm going to click create a panorama.com online. So it's my eye carousel. And they're going to ask you which one you want, a wide angle or 360. Considering that only one side of the building has actual is going to be seen, wide angle is fine, but we can use 360 view. Yeah, okay, wide angle then, fine. And then we're just going to pick all those pictures that we just took. So this one, no, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one, and hit okay. And they're going to just load it up for you, and then you can preview it and see. Well, this way turned pretty well. I wonder if putting them in order helps. Like giving them a name. Alright, so let's try this again. No, not upload. So let's try naming this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, that one's is a lot better. So I guess naming it does help. Alright, so we have it saved. We're going to click on this little gear over here, and then we're going to hit save large image to your local drive, and it's going to save it all out. And then we hit save as. Oh, and I'm going to name it new image. It's fancy. And I'm going to bring that image back into Second Life. I'm going to grab the outside gear thing here. Texture, blah blah blah. Where is it? Texture, local, add. Save it to my desktop. It should be down here. Where did it save? This image. What happened to new image? Oh, blimey. I think I done broke it. It should have saved right here. No, that was the one I did before. Okay, so it didn't save. So what I'm going to do is save it again. And I save as. This time I'm going to save it somewhere good. Whoa, where in the Sam hell? Alright, we'll save it there. Okay. There we go. Image in there, and we're gonna make it full bright so I can see what's happening. And we're on the ground, so let's start positioning it so that it looks right. Maybe squeeze it in a little bit. Well, that would be very accurate to what I used to see outside my window. So let's just try to get a good, put this on the ground. That's right. Here by the window. That's great. Alright, let's try looking at it. Yeah. It might help if we were to push it back a little bit. Maybe give that illusion. Okay. Yeah, I guess I would have added more trees or copied it and worked the texture a little more. But this at least shows you how to make one of those things. So that it's like possibly with better quality pictures. This Google ones that I have are not very high quality. Or I guess the better thing of saying is where I was at was not very high quality. Tee. Oh, seems the ceiling is up right here. I don't know. So now we have a background, something to look out at. I think the one I did in my last one was better than this one. I just have to play with the textures for a bit. Holy shit, this is kicking into 3 hours. Alright, so... Almost. Alright. So we have a panorama. Doesn't look half as bad. You can add in some stuff like trees and whatever. So, panorama, bump textures, mesh conversion, background, outside stuff. Alright, so wow, I just smelt the outside trees. That's great. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's how you make a house. And it only took 2 hours and some odd minutes, pushing 3. That's not long at all. Now all you have to do is just find a blueprint that you like, and you can pretty much build any house you want in Second Life now. No more of those same rooms, same stylized house. Now we can bring in ugly, normal, realistic apartments. Not those glamorous news, magazine ones that everybody is using these days. Anyway, so I'll include this file, and it does count as, this might be my Planeteer project. So if you buy this house, it's supporting Avastar becoming free. And I hope that you like it. I would just include everything I used to make it, as well as the stuff so you can follow along. And now that we have a house, we get to move on to the next part. Or, well, not this tutorial, but another tutorial. And that's how to make furniture for our newly built house. But that's a tutorial for another time. I need to go and stretch out and get ready for that. So this has been Zero, and we have spent a lot of time together today. How did your house come out? So why don't you send me some pictures and show me how you done it, how your house came out, and I would love to see your take on my old Delaware apartment. So until then, I'll see you next time, and good luck with your projects. Bye!